Klopp can't win at Old Trafford. James Ward Prowse scored from a corner, and James Maddison loves to punch people. Welcome to the Corner Flag. I'm Amog.
And I'm Mukesh.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody. Welcome to the podcast on this lovely Tuesday or any other day of the week that you choose to listen to this episode. We are here, and by we, I mean it is me, and with me is Mukesh. Just the two of us tonight, and a very haggard looking Mukesh at that. I think because he's tired, because he's on IPL duty.
You know who else is on IPL duty, Amog?
Who?
You are.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not on IPL duty today, but for our
In
listeners,
general.
we're doing a cool thing for Fan Code, where we're doing a daily roundup of all the IPL action. I'm hosting a few episodes. Mukesh is writing for all of them. We're doing a lot of random time pass. Basically, what we do here on this show with football, we're doing there with cricket. Except over there, we're actually talking to real cricketers who have played the game.
Such as, tell me, Amog. Tell me
Oh,
some of the celebrities you've been hanging out with.
I've been hanging out with Murli Karthik. I've been hanging out with
That,
Graham Swan. In fact, yesterday I did an episode with Graham Swan, who is a Newcastle United fan, and I did mention to him because we had a lot of fun on that episode. Check out that episode on Fan Code right now. But while talking, I pitched him the corner flag, and he said he would love to come on. So fingers crossed. Hopefully, in the next few weeks, we might have Swanee on the podcast.
fingers crossed, that's amazing. And we can finally get rid of Akash. And it sounds more respectable to say that we have a Newcastle United supporter than an Everton supporter.
Absolutely. All right, before we get into all the action, I think we need to do a little bit of self-promotion, a little more than what we've already done for this fan code show of ours. But I have over here, and people who will watch a video clip of this will see this, but I have over here a lovely book which is called The Age of Heroes, The Incredible World of Telugu Cinema, written by our very own author Mukesh Manjunath. Muki, you're an author.
Oh, thank you.
You are an author
Till now, you and I were just buckchodding around. Now look at us, hanging out with celebrities, writing books.
I know. It's great. But we'll post a link to the book as well, an Amazon link where you can go and buy it. Please go and buy Mukesh's book. He's put in a lot of effort into writing this book. And even if you don't watch Telugu cinema or have no background, I guarantee it is a hilariously fun ride because I don't watch Telugu cinema and I'm enjoying the book. So Muki is a fantastic writer, and it shows in the book that he's written. Somebody paid him money to actually write a book. So he comes certified now. So get the book and dive into the world of Telugu cinema. What is it about Telugu cinema, Muki, that made you write this book?
I'm trying to be a funny guy, but I think I don't have it to be a funny guy right now. I think what got me writing this book in particular, one, of course, you know me, and I've always wanted to write at least a book, if not many books.
Yeah.
And I think it was a pretty much there were two parts to it. One is a reverse engineered decision of, okay, no one's gonna take me seriously if I write a book about like Zogron, the futuristic sci-fi planet, right? No one's going to listen to that. So you need to give the people what they want to see a little bit. So of course, I knew somewhere I had to write either about politics, cricket, or cinema. And politics is very time bound, or only historians do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Or people with a death wish.
Yeah, or people with a death wish. And I don't have a death wish. I quite enjoy, because who else will come for this podcast if I die?
Exactly.
Clearly not Akash. Clearly not Prashant. Clearly not Graham Swan. But yeah, so that. And I didn't want to write about cricket because I don't know if people in India read about cricket. We watch cricket, but we won't. So then it was like, okay, I need to write about cinema. And then I think writing about Telugu cinema in a very fun and personal way was nice because I felt like growing up, it was always the cinema that was laughed at. It was almost like your guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Right? It was like, haha, it was almost something. And I was like, hey, you know what? There's a place and a moment and a people. So I think it's a fun thing to write about. And yeah, I think that's why I wanted to write about it.
Awesome. You can get the book on Amazon. Like I said, we will post the link on the Corner Flag social media and even in the show notes for this episode. So do go on there and buy the book. It would mean a lot, not just to Mukesh. It will definitely mean a lot to Mukesh, but it would also mean a lot to all of us at the Corner Flag as well, because one of us is an author. And that's just mental, just to know that one of us is an actual friggin' author. But
To give you
yes,
context, Amog has seen me drunk in Kerala dancing to Malayalam songs. I think
I,
he's never imagined Charles Dickens.
dude, I I remember that night
Yeah,
so well because it was you, me, and Suresh Menon, the most
man,
Malayali of all the Malayalis,
I was
drinking.
the one dancing, and you were the one grooving, and Suresh Menon
Yeah,
was just silently nodding his head,
yeah.
which
He
I
was
think is
just
quite a
like,
random
man,
thing.
I am mental, but I am not this mental. These kids are
Yeah,
way too young.
yeah.
But yes, that was a fun night. Now that we've done a nice positive start to the episode, we should get into the football. I'm wearing a Mumbai City jersey because I just came back from the Mumbai Football Arena where Mumbai City FC beat Odisha FC 2-1 in the second last game of the league season, which means Mumbai City FC are top of the ISL. Last game is against Mohun Bagan Super Giant, who are second. Mohun Bagan need to win the two games that they have in hand. So if they lose their next game, which is against Bengaluru, or even draw the next game against Bengaluru, Mumbai win the title. And if they win, then that match in Kolkata will be the title decider. So it's a fantastic title run in the ISL. One of the best title run-ins we've had in a while. So yeah, Mumbai City all the way. Hopefully, we'll get our hands
Mumbai
on the
City
shield once
all the
again.
way,
Not
except when
Hyderabad,
Hyderabad FC
Mukesh.
is playing. I'm saying except when Hyderabad FC is playing, but because Hyderabad FC is like bottom, lowest,
Yeah.
um, Hyderabad is winning the Urdu way. I think no one told them. I think no one told them that it doesn't apply to numbers. They're like infinity minus one, like counting down to zero. Idiots, but they're
Yes.
playing badly. So
Yeah, yeah. No, it's been a season to forget for Hyderabad. So there we go. But I mean, enough about that title run-in. If the Indian title run-in is great, let's talk about the English title run-in as well, because Liverpool have let go of the advantage that they had so nicely carved out for themselves. Jurgen Klopp could not win at Old Trafford. It looked like they were going to absolutely hammer Man United because Man United also coming off the back of a 4-3 last minute 4-3 defeat when they looked like they turned things around against Chelsea. And Luis Diaz scoring the opener just felt like it was going to be business as usual. But goals from Garnacho, I think it was, and Kobe Manu with a fantastic
no,
strike.
Bruno Fernandes.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Bruno Fernandes. Sorry, I keep thinking Garnacho scoring because Garnacho always scores. But yes, goals from
Yeah,
Bruno. A mistake from Gerald Quansah, which led to the goal from Bruno and a fantastic Kobe Menu shot. And then the penalty, leveling it up
so I tell
for
you
Liverpool.
what, right? I think I don't know whether it's just against derbies or what, but I don't think United's um, defending is actually as bad as people make it out to be.
Hmm.
I think obviously their positional awareness is garbage,
Hmm.
but they're actually very good shot blockers or making the shot a little hard for attackers.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm trying to cover up and intellectualize it so that I can feel a little better about Liverpool being shit. But I think that is because this game I saw and the last game also against Liverpool I saw, like United's defending is bad, but it's actually they're reasonably good shot stoppers. Like
I feel like it's not about United's defending being bad. It's just that United's defense has been ravaged by injuries. We have no fit
yeah, Harry
available
Maguire
defenders.
was starting,
No, but Harry
so I
Maguire has
thought.
actually been in great form. So it's not just because of the injuries that he was starting. He was actually playing well, and he did that again
So
in the
then
game
actually
against
you weren't
Liverpool.
ravaged by injuries.
Yeah, but उसके बाजू में कौन है? Lindelof is injured, Varane is injured, Lisandro
Yeah,
Martinez is injured,
Lisandro.
Johnny Evans, the 35-year-old backup that we signed, saying, "अच्छा तू खेल चुका है, please आ ना free transfer पे." He's also injured. Willy Kambwala had to play in defense, who also had a spectacular game. So I think it's chaos. It is basically chaos that Man United are following. People ask me, what is United's identity? What is the philosophy? The philosophy is chaos, because there is
Yeah,
no
if you can't
consistency. There is
if you
no.
can't play better than them, confuse them.
Yeah, it's one of those. To start off, though, there was interesting news. Maybe not interesting, especially for the person in question, but apparently human remains were found near the Manchester United training ground before the match, a few days before the match, and therefore training was disrupted a little bit.
I thought that was Tottenham, no?
That was also Tottenham, and we'll get to that as well. It's a bad day for people in England, just near football stadiums or training grounds. No, but human remains were apparently found near the United training ground, and social media went crazy because they were like, that explains where Tyrell Malacia is, because the dude has gotten injured a while ago, and there's no mention of when he's going to come back. Because even on Footmob, and I've said this on a previous episode, even on Footmob, when the lineups are out, Footmob does this thing where they talk about, they mention all the players who are injured. So it says Varane, hamstring injury, so many days. Martinez, knee injury, so many days. Lindelof, illness, so many days. Tyrell Malacia, a few days. There's nothing else said over there. It's just a few days till they figure out how to resurrect the dead.
Till they do. Good Friday
Yeah.
also now went off, so I think maybe you have to wait for a year now for him to come back. Now,
Yeah.
Gudi Padwa and all, I don't think there's
No,
resurrection.
no. We believe the Hinduism believes in karma and the
Yeah.
resurrection
So
for
he'll come back as the football or something.
yeah maybe
He's the
maybe
football in the next derby.
yeah.
Um.
Let's talk about the Quansah error then, because that is the
Oh.
error that got Man United
Wait,
into the
wait. I
game.
also have to complain about my team's injuries, man.
Nahi, why
Uh,
you've complained about them enough?
Allison is injured. Trent is injured. Diogo Jota is injured.
हाँ है
Thiago's
मतलब
injured.
which is why Liverpool
Which,
couldn't win,
yeah,
no.
yeah. There's a five-a-side team there that can beat
But
a
that is
world 11 of
precisely why Liverpool only managed to draw, because if both teams were at full strength, United would have won.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Of course, you can say that with confidence.
Of course I
However, if
can.
Jota was there, it was game over.
Acha,
It
was it?
was like,
Salah was there
yeah,
on the pitch and he couldn't do game over. I feel like they snatched at chances. They were just so confused about what United are doing that it just disrupted Liverpool's own rhythm.
I think they were they were little cocky. And then the minute you miss the first 2, 3, right, you start getting nervous and selfish. And I think Salah got selfish, Nunes got nervous,
Yeah.
and Liverpool got fucked. Like, that's basically what happened.
Let's
And
talk
it
about the
was, and
let's talk
hmm,
about the Quansah goal, no, the Quansah error, because that is
yeah,
in the second half, when you've gone into halftime with a one goal lead, you feel like you're controlling the game. It's not like Liverpool were playing badly; they were clearly the dominant side. United were chasing shadows to a certain extent, and save for a couple of good saves from Andre Onana, it could have been worse. But
yeah.
United would have been the happier of the two sides going into the break at 1-0, and you would think that Liverpool would come out in the second half and finish the job, but that wasn't the case. All they had to do was stick to plan, continue doing what they were doing. But then, just an error of judgment from Quansah, plays a loose pass, especially when Kelleher is off his line, and Bruno Fernandes completely capitalized on it, which is also great technique from him to score from that distance and that angle.
Oh my god! I think that is actually some video game level finish, right?
Yeah,
That error was also like I feel like you scored when we played FIFA like long ago. I feel like you scored a goal like that
yeah,
against me. I feel like I'm not this thing. I mean, I'm not if I'm not misremembering,
yeah,
but no, I think there's a reason why. Uh, like I was really surprised that both Gomez and Konate were available and they didn't start in the central back partnership.
yeah,
I do think it was I forgot which manager it said that games like Old Trafford are really hard and you can't just shove young defenders into these pressure situations, right?
yeah.
Especially if you're a team trying to defend the title. Now,
Hmm.
Kobe Mino can come to on Anfield or go to an Emirates because they're expected to lose, so they pretty much have nothing to lose, and when they perform, it's
Hmm.
just fantastic for their confidence.
Hmm.
And when they don't, it doesn't do much. But in games like this, where you have to win, you have to perform, even every error will lead to all sorts of mockery. I do think Quansah was a wrong choice uh, for by Klopp to start. It is ultimately like, I mean, Quansah's a great player, but ultimately the luck catches up, right?
Yeah.
And I thought this was it, and it was catching up at the worst time. It could have been caught up at Sheffield or something, but it did. It happened at Old Trafford, and that pressure finally got him. I'm not saying he should be off the cuff. Of course, it should be something definitely, but I think the score should have just read 5-2, 6-2, 6-3 instead of 2-all. And you can't really blame Quansah in the sense that he's too young for a pressure situation.
I mean,
like
a
this.
lot of Liverpool fans did blame Quansah on his Instagram. Lots of hate he got, and he had to restrict the comments on his Instagram, which is just not nice to see. He's a young player at the end of the day. Regardless of where you are in the title race and how much this result affects you. I mean, you should, as a fan base, be behind one of your own.
Yeah, and I think what fans don't get is that it probably affects him the most.
Yeah.
Like if there's one person, like you don't have to remind him
Yeah.
to be like, hey man, you need to feel shit about this, because he feels worse than everybody else in the comment section combined. So I think it's only better if we are kinder to him, and that's one. And also I would say actually blame them. Don't send hate, but if you have to criticize someone in
Yeah.
public or private conversation, I think you should criticize Klopp for throwing him
Yeah.
when you had two options available, and you could have maybe used one of the options for 60 minutes and then got on Quansah for the last 30 or even just for one half. But I thought it was too much to put him for I think almost 90 minutes. It was a bit too much pressure on the young kid.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about that penalty then, because after Kobe Mino scores that brilliant goal, very Federico Macheda-esque, if you remember his strike against Aston Villa, lovely finish, cool as fuck celebration as well. And it looked at that point that United were going to steal the 3 points, and it was the result that everybody would have loved. No. You don't say come on. No, you don't say come on and all, because on the WhatsApp group you're like, yeah, there it is, title done. It's over. United has
Title is
won.
done. I still feel like title is done.
Like, that's fine, but on the group you're all like, yeah, that's it. After Mainu scored, you were like, yeah, that's it, we are done, it's over. And Akarsh, and I had to tell you, bro, abhi tak bahut game baki hai, stoppage time aana baki hai.
Okay, my cribbing was more about losing points.
No, your cribbing was about losing the game. You had accepted defeat way before the defeat even was cemented. So you don't say, come on. It did look at the time that United was gaining control of the match, and going 2-1 up was throwing Liverpool off their game a little bit. But it was only in the last 5-10 minutes that Liverpool actually came back. And it's really weird to see Aaron Wan-Bissaka make that mistake, because usually he is fantastic on one-on-ones. He loves sliding in, and 99% of the times he gets his slide tackles bang on, whether they're in the box or outside the box. He always gets them bang on.
I know, but I mean, I think it's hard to blame him, because it's like legs that have run for 70 minutes versus legs that ran for like 5 minutes, and from a much younger player. I think it was just tired legs going for fresh legs.
Yeah, but you saw the penalty. There was very, very little contact. Almost, if you see the zoomed in version of that.
Yeah, it was definitely there was a diving element involved. Like maybe I still think we've seen those given as penalties, so I'm not surprised or anything it's a penalty. Yeah. But you have to, even as a Liverpool fan, say that Elliott dived. Maybe that's good, because maybe that's what convinced the referee in real time and all of that.
In fact, I have a slightly different point of view on this. And coming from a United fan, I think you will be very, very surprised to hear that. I feel like it was a penalty. It was definitely a penalty. Forget the fact that his front foot makes no contact and he jumps over it and takes the tumble. So yes, Harvey Elliott did definitely make a meal out of it, and he made sure that he was going to get the penalty. But if you look at it outside of that, it was a reckless challenge, and there was a little bit of contact on the trailing leg.
Yeah.
So, it was one of those soft ones and can be debated ones. And especially it's one of those ones that people will share on social media and zoom in and exactly what is happening. Zoom in. Oh, your front foot has not touched only. He's jumped over it without any contact and he's taken a dive and all. And how can we've been fucked over by VAR, and all of that nonsense will happen. He definitely overdid it and made sure that the referee gave the penalty with the lunge and the fall, but it was still a penalty. Like, if the tables were turned and a Liverpool player did that exact same tackle on a Man United player, I would have been very, very upset if that wasn't given as a penalty. So I think it just works both ways. So yeah, it was a
No, I
penalty.
would have been quite upset if it wasn't given a penalty.
Yeah.
But I've also seen those been not given penalties, especially this season. Um, but I think where Liverpool really messed up was actually the midfield. I think Klopp's plan was kill the game in about 45-50 minutes
Hmm.
and then send in defensive reinforcements. And then if the gap is 2 goals, United will probably score 1 goal. But I think United weren't clinical enough.
Yeah.
And I think it's what you said. I think that midfield of Soboslai, Endo, and McAllister was just too attacking, which
Hmm.
just meant Liverpool was so open. I don't know if you noticed, Conor Bradley got a yellow, I think, quite early on in the game because of a rash tackle,
Hmm.
because he was left alone and he had to, I think, make a rash tackle or whatever, right,
Hmm.
against Rashford. Um, I think it was a big mistake not playing Curtis Jones. I think United completely played chaos ball. I think the tactic of, I think what did they play? 4-4-2. What is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Because I think Garnacho and Rashford play on top, correct?
Hmm.
And then it's just behind them. It's just Jai Shri Ram. Like
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
like just just kick it to them and then they'll run. And
Yeah.
I think Klopp got it. You can't out chaos this team, and he tried to attack, and kill, and it didn't work out. So I think Klopp should actually get a lot of criticism for this match.
Yeah, yeah. He was asked about the game in his post match, and he said, "If United play like this against Arsenal, Arsenal win hands down." Is that a dig at Man United or is that a dig at Liverpool? Because is he saying that बच्चों तो ऐसे खेल रहे थे इन लोग को भी नहीं हरा सके हम लोग? Like,
I think it's a great way to demotivate two rivals. Like,
yeah.
It's like, wow, how do you do that?
Basically, he
You just
wants
demotivated 22 players.
basically he wants City to
And the
win.
team coach. He's like, I kill you, I kill me, I kill everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Arsenal play Aston Villa next,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah,
I would probably try and motivate Unai Emery. So, like, Emma, come on, Emery. I know you're listening to this podcast.
yeah,
And Arsenal fans treated you so badly,
yeah,
right? They abused you.
yeah.
They gave you Lacazette and Aubameyang, which is terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
And they made fun of your accent, which is not even in your control.
Yeah.
So I think, come on, Emery, show them Gunners who's the bazooka in town.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, that is possibly one of the worst team talks I have ever heard. I'm glad.
Whatever, right?
I'm glad that you're not a football coach and you're an author, because I feel like that is where your talents truly lie, and maybe you should stick to that. Sam Allardyce was seen at Old Trafford watching the game with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Are we going to see a managerial change next season?
Are you excited for this?
No, I'm not.
Remember we discussed, I think 3-4 weeks ago, about how 4-4-2 is back in England.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And who better to bring back 4-4-2 ball than Sam Allardyce at United?
Yeah.
Because pretty much United are playing some version of 4-4-2 anyway. So
I don't know what version of football they're playing, but they're playing something. They're playing something. I don't know if it's 4-4-2 or whatever it is, but yeah, no, he's just a good friend of Sir Alex Ferguson, and he knows all these guys all together, and that's why he was there. But I just hope not. Eric Ten Hag, on the other hand, has said that he is definitely going to be Man United manager next season. I don't think he knows that that's not up to him.
he can't reject their firing mail.
Yeah.
He's like, you're fired. No, man, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
No, I'm not. I already told the media that I'm here next season, so gotta honor that.
Yeah, it's like, my kids are in school. Yeah, come on. You know how hard 8th standard is. Come on. We'll see.
One more year. वो 9th standard जाएंगे तो
board exams.
Board, actually, 2 more years. Board exam के बाद.
Board exams.
Then we'll all go on summer vacation. Then you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But yes, with that draw that Liverpool got against Man United, it is advantage Arsenal. Arsenal are now top of the league. And they reached there because they beat Brighton at the AmEx Stadium 3-0. Firstly, how was that game only 3-0? Because it really should have been 10-10 or something.
10. Oh, really? 10-10? As in, you think Brighton should have scored?
Yeah, Brighton had so many chances. And they were so good on the break.
They had chances, but To me, when I saw the game, it felt like they could have played for 90 more minutes with a fresh 11, and they probably wouldn't have scored. I don't know, Brighton. Like, I know they had shots and they had chances, but it just didn't look like
Really?
the shots were so threatening that Arsenal would concede. It's like I think
I honestly
De
thought.
Zerbi got Arsenal wrong a little bit. I think where Arsenal panics because I think if he should have played a much more defensive game, right? The longer the game goes on without a goal, it suits De Zerbi because Arsenal gets more
Hmm,
desperate because they have to keep scoring every game. They can't afford
hmm,
to either
hmm,
not score goals or lose out on goal difference.
hmm.
And the minute Arsenal gets desperate, De Zerbi has them by the balls. But I think De Zerbi did the big mistake of trying to go too attacking too early, and I think Arsenal knows how to deal with that.
Yeah.
There's such a good defensive side.
Yeah, yeah. No, I honestly felt that Brighton were damn good on the counter. They were damn good on the break, and they just required a little better finishing, and they could have actually taken at least something out of the game. Maybe, I mean, maybe not even something out of it, but at least they could have scored. So I honestly do feel like Arsenal did have the better quality. Saka coming back into the starting lineup also was a big boon. He also scored the opening goal, so back to business for him. Leandro Trossard
There's a
scoring the
penalty,
third
so
goal in his own stomping ground. That must have been painful for Brighton fans to watch.
yeah. I think Trossard and there's one more player, right? From Brighton, I think. Was it Ben?
Ben
Another
White,
player who's also from
Ben White
Ben
was
White,
from
right? Yeah,
Brighton.
so I think it must have been
No, but to actually have
Trossard
your
and
ex
White
player
down
come to your
to
home again
score a
and
goal.
score against you, and then do that celebration, which is like, see what you're missing, which is it shouldn't
To
have been
me, it
bad.
was embarrassing. And I really expected better from Desabe, especially considering that
He could
he
be
was, he
Liverpool
was,
manager.
I think those rumors have quickly died out. Now it's just down to Amorim
Yeah,
and Thiago Motta.
yeah, yeah.
But, but yeah, man, Arsenal look like they're just not going to concede or what?
No,
Like, I'm like, bro, what happened? Like, come on. It's like going to poke it with a stick and be like, where are the jokes,
yeah.
right? Like, come on, do something
Give
stupid.
us content,
You can't
guys.
really be this good.
Give us content.
Yeah,
Give us
the
something to
content.
make fun of. It feels
Yeah,
weird to praise Arsenal and not piss off Arsenal fans on this podcast, but
yeah, and you know what I realized, right? So let's say it does look like Arsenal is on course to win the remaining 7 games,
hmm,
and there is a decent chance, right? Less chance than Arsenal, but a decent chance that Liverpool win the remaining 7 games.
hmm,
And you know how Klopp has achieved everything
hmm,
at Liverpool, right? Champions League, Premier League, coming twice second.
hmm,
He has never come second on goal difference,
yeah,
and if he achieves that this season,
yeah.
that really is better than winning the quadruple if you think about it.
Is that the milestone that Klopp is going for in his farewell season? It was
Honestly,
never
I
about
think
the
it is.
Premier League this season. It was
It is.
never about those trophies. It was about what is the one
It's about
stat
how
that I can
unique,
check off.
yeah, how unique can your record be, right?
Yeah,
Has a team ever lost on a by 1 point twice and on goal
yeah,
difference,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I'm guessing the goal difference will reduce. So it's about 9 right
yeah,
now, and hopefully it'll be under
yeah,
5. So a goal difference of 4.
yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations to Arsenal for uh, putting Liverpool through that and giving Klopp that really wanted record.
But for all the good things that Mikel Arteta has done at Arsenal, and he has done a bunch of good things. He's come in as a young manager. He could be one of the youngest managers to win the Premier League if Arsenal actually win the Premier League this season, which is a fantastic achievement. He's changed the culture of the club. He's made sure that the team that they have, and the players that they buy are young players. So he's reduced the average age of the squad down as well. He's set his philosophies in, and the players are now buying into it. But apart from all of that, I think the biggest achievement that Arteta has done is that he's got Kai Havertz scoring goals, because that did not look like a thing that would happen while he was at Chelsea. And even in his first couple of weeks at Arsenal, maybe a first couple of months at Arsenal, it did not look like it was going to happen for the guy. But he is now suddenly one of Arteta's most lethal finishers.
Lethal finishes, and he looks so fresh. And I
Yeah,
think because he's only playing now
yeah,
and coming
yeah,
fresh, like, you know what I say, he like usually where like this, there's always almost like the core players of every team that's competing for a title
yeah,
race, sort of, by the last 8 games they're
yeah,
exhausted. and they're like, okay, you guys take over from
Yeah.
and the other players, and whichever team has the best people to take over, they end up winning,
Yeah.
right? Like I think for Liverpool, it's Alexis McAllister to a certain extent, but for Arsenal, it's clearly
Hmm.
Kai Havertz, who's just, I mean, he's
Hmm.
energized. I guess he's not re-energized because he was never void of energy because he never played
Hmm.
before. But good time. Shit, okay, I should really stop insulting him. No, he was very good. He was. Damn it, I just can't do this, Amog. I can't praise.
That's okay. It's fine.
Hey, you know what? Honestly, this wouldn't have happened if just Liverpool got those points when Odegaard handled the ball at Anfield and it became 0-0. My
Yeah.
God,
If
sorry.
ifs and buts were what's the saying? If ifs and buts were pots and pans, what the fuck? What is that saying?
Ifs and buts and pots and
I
I
don't
don't
know,
know.
but something. But
I don't know.
hindsight is a fantastic thing. तो उसके बारे में क्या बोले अभी कुछ कह नहीं सकते. But if you can't praise Arsenal more, I think we should neatly head
Thank you.
towards a break, because on the other side
Yes.
we have so
Yes.
much fun
Thank you.
stuff to
I
talk
need it.
about. There's mental happenings at Tottenham Hotspur and at West Ham. It's just going to be a fantastic second half, and also we're going to be taking your questions. So see you on the other side. Welcome back to the Corner Flag, everybody, and as always, we begin the second half with your questions. Questions with the Corner Flag.
Dude, answers also, huh?
All right. So Gunty.92 asks, hey, what was the score on Thursday night, Amog?
Yeah, it was 4-3. He messaged also saying he is going to ask this question because, of course, Chelsea beat Man United 4-3. There's a reason why we don't do midweek podcasts, and I think I've figured out why. It's not because we're lazy or we don't have time. It's because these shitty results happen on the midweek, and it's good to do the podcast at the end of the week or at the start of the new week when there's more results to talk about, and then those shitty results can be put under the rug.
Yeah, and also I can understand why I didn't ask him that question, because then he can just ask the same question back to me, right? And
Yeah.
this is me going, "What's the score, Amog?" and him
Yeah.
going, "What's the score, Mukesh?"
Yeah.
And then the podcast becomes damn boring,
Yeah.
as opposed to now,
Yeah.
when it's damn exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
PRS MUFC asks, 8 games to go. Who wins the PL? I think 7 games to go though. Arsenal win the PL.
Yeah, 7 games
It's
to go now.
Arsenal, City, Liverpool.
I
It's Arsenal, City,
I
Liverpool
think
for me. In
I
terms
would.
of
Okay. See, I remember a while ago I said I would like Man City to win, but I am changing that. I would really like Arsenal to win because I don't want Man City to do 4 in a row, because that's never been done before. Let their 3 in a row stay. I would also not like them to win a double treble. So if they don't win the Premier League, then obviously they are not in contention for the double treble. I don't want Liverpool to win because 20 times Man United is a fantastic chant, and I don't want to lose that chant. So it would be gut wrenching if Liverpool won it. I think the lesser of all three evils for me as a Man United fan is Arsenal. So I'm going to wholeheartedly support Arsenal this season.
really, Amoxi, right now you're dealing with one toxic fandom, which is Liverpool, from a United fans' perspective, and nothing from Man City's, because they have no fans.
They have no fans.
Right? And now you're saying, hey, I want to give rise to another fandom to shit on me.
I'm just saying I want to give Arsenal fans the benefit of the doubt. Like, maybe they're nice people. We never know. Like, we never give them representation on this podcast. So who knows? Maybe they're genuinely nice people. Maybe they'll want to take us out for brunch or something. They could be those people, and I would like to give them that chance. And maybe if I wholeheartedly support them this season, then they won't shit on me. So yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works. If you're nice enough to the assholes, they probably won't pick on me.
Exactly. That's what I did all through high school.
Same strategy. Ashwin_040 asks, have to watch Arteta win the league now? Sadly, yes, Ashwin. Very sadly, yes.
Sadly, yes. I just want to know how many people are going to be the celebration police for him, because they did that when I think it was the victory or the something against Liverpool only, when he celebrated, and then everybody was like, oh, what is he doing? This is not a type of celebration you do when you've just won a game. It's the type of celebration you do when you won the league. When Odegaard was taking photos of the club photographer and all. So I don't know. The celebration police will be out in full force if they do win. But it would be nice, yeah, to see a young manager win it.
That's true. Yeah, fair enough. Whatever.
Hmm.
VST_10 asks, what makes someone an Everton fan?
Self-sabotage, as Akarsh has put made clear multiple times. It is
I actually have the opposite theory.
which is
I think Akash is too happy in life.
okay.
I think he needs something to give. I think Akash has He has achieved a state of bliss.
Yeah,
And like that final Buddhism state of whatever it is, Zen state.
yeah,
And now he's like, shit, I need something to remind me that sadness exists.
yeah.
And
It's
what better than choosing to something that could constantly give me sadness?
yeah. I think Everton is Akarsh's reverse dopamine, basically.
Yeah. Akash is too alpha. An alpha himself, he supports Everton.
Yeah,
Those are our theories for you, VST.
yeah.
Akash Goswami asks, do you guys think VAR is actually ruining the game rather
Yeah.
than improving it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not because
Okay.
of the technology, it's because of the way it's implemented, at least in the Premier League, because the people who are running it are just terrible. And maybe it's not even their fault. Maybe it's just the rules that are there now that are just so hard to interpret. That it leaves everything up to imagination. Where it is basically everything is राम भरोसे. तुम लोग decide करो तुम लोगों को क्या करना है. Penalty लग रहा है नहीं, handball लग रहा है नहीं, punch लग रहा है नहीं, ठीक है चलो हो जाएगा.
Yeah. Amok just gave a more detailed explanation. Cool.
Yeah.
But no, in general, no. Daksh asks us, another 2-point deduction for Everton. Do we see them relegating this season?
Yeah, so now that
Have
is
faith.
that is the
Have
news.
faith.
That is the latest breaking news, because this news broke just before we started recording, which is that Everton have been handed a further 2-point deduction. I'm just going to check how that affects their league table right now, where they are in the league. Let me just pull up the table. Everton are still in 16th place on 27 points, with a game in hand over Nottingham Forest, who are below them in 17th place at 25 points. So no, I don't think they'll get relegated still. It is just absurd that these point deductions happen in installments, and I really was hoping that Akash could join us on the podcast tonight to talk about it, but unfortunately he's not here, and he is the guy to talk about when it comes to Everton's point deduction, because frankly, who else gives a shit in terms of Everton? Who's going to follow that? No, but I've said this before as well. Like, it is ridiculous for the Premier League to hand out points deductions, especially in these installments. कि हाँ पहले 10, फिर 4 points वापस ले लो, फिर 2 points वापस निकालो. Like, ये बहुत ऊपर नीचे हो रहा है, and in the middle of the season, that is just ridiculous. Whatever it is, whatever the punishment is, hand it out at the beginning of the season or hand it out for the beginning of the next season. So you start next season with a -8 points deficit or whatever it is, but don't let that affect the current season in the way it's going, because that just fucks it up.
Yeah, and also it gives no sense of security to the matches, right? Like
Yeah.
right now, there's certain, no matter what happens in a match, the outcome of a match is respected.
Yeah.
Right? So unless unless the crime is, and it's been proven, where it's like match fixing, where has or something of that, or doping as it happened in Italy, where champions were stripped off and the second place positions were given the titles.
Yeah.
You don't do something like this.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what happens, like even during games where the cheating has been very, very obvious, like that famous Chelsea versus Barcelona game back in 2009, where it was open, like very easy to the naked eye, even that there's cheating happening and some shitty decision making, but you just accept the decision and you move on.
Yeah.
Right? Similarly, in the recent past, so many decisions have gone in favor of City, against Liverpool, against Arsenal, against Everton. Like Akash has repeatedly pointed out how many decisions go against any team that's not in the top 6, but you still respect that game. And now this just seems like a new factor that players and managers have to worry about, that is beyond their job, playing for the tactics in games. And it really makes it really makes football less about the actual sport and so much about these outside factors, which aren't fun actually,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, I think it's a very very shitty um, approach. It's a very Gryffindor wins 10 points,
Yeah.
Slytherin wins 5 points
Yeah.
approach, and it's very very gross. And also the just sheer mockery of Man City having 115 charges, which is actually one more charge than the number of points you can win if you won all 38 matches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And still losing. So I don't know. I think I'm hoping somewhere there's a part of me that says that hopefully that's the real thing, right? Which is that those charges get proven, Man City gets stripped of those titles, and then whoever came second in those
Yeah.
seasons wins
I
them.
think the Premier League right now with all these
But yeah.
points deductions and all is like a massive Marvel cinematic universe, because you know how in Marvel movies and TV shows everything leads up to like one showpiece event, to like Avengers Endgame or whatever. So I feel all these Nottingham Forest Everton points deductions, points giving back, then again further points deduction and all is all leading up to 115 charges for Man City, and how that is going to explode. But
Yeah.
it just honestly doesn't feel like anything is going to happen with Man City. Basically, they're trying to do everything to make sure that Man City are protected, but everybody else is fucked. So, you know, it's just a terrible place to be if you're a fan of any of these teams, which, granted, not many people in India are. I don't think there's any Nottingham Forest fans in India. And there's 4 Everton fans in India, Akash being one of them. So, you know, but for the fans of these clubs who
Yeah.
actually live in the cities that these clubs are based in, it's not a great feeling, obviously, and it's not great for the league in general, because
Yeah.
it's just unnecessary jeopardy. Like the sporting jeopardy that a sporting league presents is what it should all be about. Like all of this addition subtraction वो नहीं चाहिए यार, league के बीच में नहीं चाहिए. I'm not saying that don't punish these teams for their financial misgivings. They should be punished, because at the end of the day you don't want to see clubs go into administration because they're run very, 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 very badly. There has to be a sporting punishment for a crime like that, for sure. But that should also be done and decided and appealed against and ratified in the off season, so that the next season you either start off with a clean slate or with a points reduction, and then you build up from there. But nothing should happen in the middle of the season.
Yeah. And final question is from Dark Horse Coolers 5, who says predictions on the UCL quarterfinals draw.
I mean,
I have them in front of
Liverpool
me.
नहीं खेल रहा, United नहीं खेल रहा, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? नहीं, but yeah, go on.
Now let's go quickly.
Yeah.
Arsenal Bayern, who do you think is going to win?
It'll be a draw. First leg will be a draw. Second leg, Bayern.
No. Okay, but who do you think in between the not this match, but in general over the 2 legs, who do you think is going to go through?
Bayern.
Okay, I say Arsenal. Madrid, City, who do you think is going to go through?
I think Madrid. They have
I think City.
they have revenge. They have revenge on their mind.
PSG, Barcelona, who do you think is going to go through?
PSG.
Barcelona.
Ooh,
Atletico, Dortmund, who's going to go
Atletico.
through? Okay, Morgan and I completely disagree on every result,
split right in
every
the middle.
match outcome. So, yeah. And again, this is not planned. This is drama that's happening because life decided so. So yeah, with that, we're done with the questions for today.
Awesome.
Thank you. Fun questions.
Thank you so much for writing in. We love listening to your questions and answering them. Please keep writing in by getting in touch on our Instagram, which is @conflictpod. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/conflictpod. Right. Let's head over to North London. Spurs 3, Nottingham Forest 1. Lots happening in this game. Firstly, like you alluded to earlier on in the first half, a man was indeed found dead very close to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And Spurs in a statement says, yeah, मर गया है आदमी पास में, पर kickoffs 6 बजे का will continue on time. Like they're just like, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, I think
Match day revenue is very important. But yes, very, very sad to know that there was a victim of a knife crime who was attended to by first responders and was given CPR, but was pronounced dead on arrival at the local hospital. It's just terrible how many violent criminal activities are going on in London. And that is not to say only the stabbings that have happened outside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but also the punchings that have happened inside, because James Maddison completely punched Ryan Yates in the stomach and nothing
and nothing
happened.
happened. Yeah, I don't know. This is again terrible refereeing decision, and I feel like, hey, these sort of decisions, right, back in the day, and I don't mean, like, I guess I am in. We are going to sound very old,
Yeah,
which is that back in the day, I remember if a foul looked this obvious, it was given,
yeah,
right? Like, I don't remember such obvious fouls being errors pre
yeah.
VAR. Do you think
No,
so?
no. I think with VAR, I think
So
all the errors are more pronounced because you expect them to rectify those errors. And with the advent of technology, also there's so many camera angles, there's so many high definition camera angles. We see everything in minute detail. There's social media, so you're seeing fan reactions from the stands, catching certain things that are happening that the TV cameras can't catch. So there's a lot more spotlight on these minor incidents, and I feel like the whole point of VAR is to use that technology to actually see and call out these incidents that the referee, who is just one man in the middle of the pitch managing a game of 22 players with, let's say, 60,000 people shouting, which is not an easy job. But the technology is there to help that one guy do his job better, right? Now, if you're going to hamstring the technology and be like, no, but VAR can only come into effect if there is a clear and obvious error, and if there is enough evidence of violent conduct, bencho usne punch kiya usko in the stomach. What more evidence of violent conduct do you need? Having said that, a team that said, yeah, kickoff will go on time, even when there was a man found dead near the stadium, what more can you expect, right? Like, in terms of what
what more
is
can you
violent
expect?
conduct, somebody who got stabbed was not deemed important enough to delay kickoff. So yeah, there we go. But I just feel like I wouldn't say it's terrible refereeing by the referee in the middle. It is terrible VAR by the VAR people, because they really should have caught it.
Yeah,
And it wasn't even like it happened off the camera. It was clearly in view of the cameras. They wouldn't even need to shift angles or anything, and he's clearly seen punching him, to the point where Hotstar के highlights में भी वो दिखाया था. हॉटस्टार के हाइलाइट्स में
that's when you.
वो they don't show certain things that are slightly violent or anything. If they're too violent, if there's a streaker on the pitch or something, they don't show that. They nicely, very conveniently stay away from that. But Hotstar highlights also showed this. मतलब क्या?
That's when you know a decision
Yeah.
is shit. If like VAR Hotstar can catch it and slow down and make it
Yeah.
obvious, that's when you know you're
It's
shit.
terrible. I feel like in the games that are coming up, I think everybody should be allowed to punch one player and get away with it. Like, every team can nominate one player to punch another player as a free hit, quite literally.
Yeah, free
Yeah.
hit. Look at IPL is rubbing off on you, Abu.
Exactly.
Well done.
Getting into it. But yeah, fantastic. I don't know if there's going to be retrospective action on this, but we'll see. 3-1 victory though. Great goals from Mickey Van de Ven and Pedro Porro also adding to it. Over to Sheffield versus Chelsea, 2-2. Again, this is how amazingly box office Chelsea are. You would think that after beating Man United 4-3, they would suddenly find some semblance of momentum, uh, and especially when they're going up against a team like Sheffield United, who are very easily and unarguably the worst team in the league this season, and they
Yeah,
still drop
yeah.
points.
And a last minute equalizer.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even that Sheffield got lucky with a streaky goal in the first half and we just did 10-0 formation and they stuck
Yeah.
to it. Chelsea were 2-1 up until I think the 92nd or 93rd minute is when Sheffield scored, right? And how do you let a last minute equalizer from a team like Sheffield
Yeah.
United? Unbelievable. And especially after coming off of so much adrenaline. Unless Chelsea players get cocky damn quickly and get deflated damn
I think
quickly.
that is definitely
you
the
think
case. That is definitely the case.
that's just
There was a lovely article that I read. The headline of the article was Mauricio Pochettino explains what the club needs to do in the summer transfer window. And just by looking at that headline, I was like, don't buy more players. जो है वो
don't
यूज
buy.
करो या उनको बेचो. पहले बेचो, फिर सोचो.
Pele Bechu.
But yeah,
And give some players to other
yeah,
teams, man.
exactly. It's shambles. It's absolute shambles. But there is talk that Todd Bowley might be removed as Chelsea CEO by Clear Lake Partners, who are the holding company that owns Chelsea. So all of his naughtiness might be on its way out, and we might see a slightly reformed and more strategically organized Chelsea next season.
I hope so,
Really, you
because
hope so? I would love
I
to
think
see.
Todd Bowley had
I would love to see Chelsea the way they're going. I was going to start a petition to keep Todd
because
Bowley in
Todd
a job.
no, because I think remember when Todd Bowley came, I think he had said there is a grand plan that they have or some secret master plan that up his sleeve. And I think the secret master plan it's for
Yeah.
him. It's not for the club
Yeah,
because he gets fired. He still gets the big package that he was
yeah,
offered,
yeah,
and he just makes a club look like an idiot. And how does it matter to him whether Chelsea wins or
yeah,
not when he gets millions and
yeah.
billions?
yeah. Yeah, there we go. Right, to quickly wrap up this episode, Wolves 1, West Ham 2. Really, I mean, James Ward Prowse, 84th minute. He- The man is now scoring from corners. And I bring this up only because I wanted to give you some semblance of joy before we end this episode. As a long-time James Ward Prowse supporter and
Yes,
James Ward Prowse
admirer,
admirer, you must be very happy
a
because the man
fan.
has clearly mastered free kicks and now he's mastering corners as well. Scoring straight from a corner, we don't
Yeah,
usually see that happen.
and what a useful English player to have in your
Yeah.
team,
Would you take him?
right? What a
Would you put him in the England squad for the Euros?
you know what? I think he will be one of the because see, tournament games are all about going for the win, right? You don't go for the draw, right? Unless you're clearly facing someone much better than
Hmm.
you. And I think given England, they are the
Hmm.
better team compared to
Hmm.
most teams. And I think given that it's all going to be about
Hmm.
attack, if I was Southgate, he would be at the 60th, 70th minute in case the game is a
Hmm.
draw. But if you're winning, obviously, if they're winning, obviously not. But if a game is 1-1 or a 0-0,
Hmm.
and you need, I think Ward Prowse would be one of the first substitutes I would bring on. And I would just tell him, you're defending until it's a free kick or a corner. And he knows, and that's the memo he
Yeah.
gets. Simple
Yeah.
instructions. He
Yeah,
gets it.
absolutely. We'll see what happens, but fantastic stuff by James Ward-Prowse. Also, Wolves almost equalized in the dying minutes of the game. Max Kilman's header was judged to be offside, which was given as a subjective offside, which basically blurs the line between fact and fiction. And we've been told that offside is a rule which is basically fact. You're either offside or you're not. But this one was given as a subjective offside because one of the Wolves players was blocking the West Ham goalkeeper when the header went in. And it's just, again, like, I just don't understand this rule anymore.
Among it's beyond us. It's beyond us. It's finally you just have to accept whatever happened. I feel like that stage of feeling bad about it is also over
Yeah.
now. It's fury is over, frustration is over. Now it's just fuck it.
Yeah, absolutely. It is just fuck it. And yes, on that note, let's fuck it. Let's end this episode. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to the Corner Flag. If you'd like to get in touch with us and tell us what you thought of this episode, you can reach us on our social media. You can find Mukesh on Instagram at,
Mukesh
and you can find
Manjunath.
me on Instagram at Amograndive.
And that's because his name is Points Deduction.
My first name points, last name deduction. But I will give it back at some point and then take it away from you just when I please, and then give some back and then take more away because that's just how I roll. You can also follow the Corner Flag on Instagram and Twitter at @CornerFlagPod. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@CornerFlagPod. Hit the subscribe button, give us a like, start commenting on the videos. You can find full audio episodes over there as well. So if you prefer listening to podcasts on the YouTube app, you can do that. Otherwise, you can always follow us and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whichever other podcast platform that you use. Shout out to Kazat Garda for composing our theme tune. And until next week, it is goodbye from us. So say bye, Mukesh.
Bye, guys.
And it's bye from me.